Hey, Pepin.
Yo, 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 yo.
I get asked all the time, how do we come up with our topics and what is our process? Do we have like a script that we follow? Are there like plot points so that we make sure that we hit every time we talk about a topic?
Yeah, sure. That's how it works.
And then when I tell people, no, we just kind of pick a topic. Sometimes we don't even know the topic until 1 minute before. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. So let's actually show what we do sometimes live. I say, we have our list of all of these potential topics that some of which you just dropped in like 2 minutes ago. So I've never even seen some of these. Let's roll a d20, and then whatever that pops up as on the list is what we talk about.
Okay, so let's see here. Got my die. And let's see. I rolled a 17. A meter.
That means nothing to me.
Yeah, it means something to me though. So
Okay.
let me just find where that is on the list here. Fucking motherfucking shit. What the fuck?
Did you land on a meme again?
No, I didn't fucking land on a fucking meme. What I landed on is something amazing, something great.
Oh,
It's the
I'm really excited.
fucking best.
Is it? What is it? Is it a good? It's good? I'm going to like talking about it.
I think this is good as shit, babe.
Pepin, we need to talk. That is flawless. Whew, is it hot in here?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, welcome back. So glad you guys could join us. I am here once again with my babe, Pepin. How's it going today, Pepin?
Listen, I'm your babe. You're my babe. It all works out that way, right?
We're all babes, yeah. That's from that Good Burger, right?
Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. How may I take your order?
Exactly. Classic skit from Happy Days. So what did we land on? What are we talking about?
If you were to take a guess, what would it be?
Something about swearing, because you swore a whole bunch.
Yes. It is swearing bad?
Oh. I mean, no.
No?
Okay, next topic.
Why not?
Why would it be?
I have had some discussions with my girlfriend and some other people, and they are very adamant about the idea that swearing is bad. Mm-hmm. And part of what brought this up is we're talking about, like, let's say a kid, right? So say we're raising a kid, and I guess the point was you would train that kid not to swear. You wouldn't swear around the kid and everything like that. And I kind of get it to some degree, right? Because you don't want to swear around a child in that sort of way. Mm-hmm. But you don't swear around them because people are stupid and think swearing is an issue. Mm-hmm. Am I wrong?
I mean, I think there's context, and kids don't know context. So a lot of times teaching words that are to be used in specific contexts and not in other contexts before they learn what the context is can be a sketchy situation.
Like, what do you mean? Like, it's not understanding the power of the word?
Yeah, like, and when to use it, when not to use it. Like, there's an aura of politeness around society in specific places or instances. So, like, let's say you're at school, having the kid swearing a whole bunch in that context is probably not good. Or specifically to, like, instigate a fight or something along those lines, that wouldn't be a great situation to have the kid swearing. But at home, I don't really see an issue as long as it's, being used appropriately.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think people have an issue with it in general?
I think it's more of an old world way. I think it's more old world thinking, where it's just impolite, it's aggressive. Mm-hmm. but why do they consider it impolite? Maybe this is something I don't fully understand. I'm hoping you have some insight on that.
Yeah, well, I can think of a couple things, and it's not something I fully understand myself because I've thought about this for like a number of years. I think there's definitely an aspect of taboo there, and I think that maybe in some way people don't want you to swear just willy-nilly or having children swear because they want to have the power of that taboo, because it's kind of like sex, right? If sex is everywhere, sex is kind of meaningless, right? Or it has less meaning to it. Same with like swearing. If a swear is just used everywhere, kind of like certain other words, it kind of loses its power, its kind of gumption, which as an argument I can kind of buy, but also maybe it's not completely fair because you get into certain, say, communities like sailors who are well known for swearing every other word. I kind of don't understand why any word should be taboo necessarily. Of course, we can get into other kind of stuff here too, because there's certain, say, racial words that are swears, and there's a historical context to those words, and that's usually why it's bad, because you're implying certain connotations to those words, about the person. And maybe you can think of like more general swears, like say shit, fuck, and stuff like that. Those don't have really any of those connotations. It's kind of even more filler words than anything. So I can see there's some delineation, say it's like swears and like slurs maybe, or say insults, but I don't know, because I feel like maybe swears started out as slurs in a sort of weird way. Like if you think about how, like, I don't know, if you say something like "God damn it," that might be seen as like a religious sort of damnation, or sort of what is it? Thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain.
Blasphemy.
Blasphemy. So in a way, like that started out as like some sort of blasphemy, and then it just got used so much now it's just kind of like everyday speech. I mean, depending on where you are. So I just threw a word salad at you. So what do you think of that?
No, I think that's pretty accurate, and I think languages are alive, so they over time they grow. Like living languages get increased their dictionary every year. They don't shrink them down, but words change and they grow, and I think the use of words changes as well. So I think you're 100% right in that, and I think that when it comes to things that are racially charged, or like sexually or anything along those lines, things that are just being used for like negative purposes, or to incite, are in a different category. Like I think those should be considered the swears now, and we should take fuck, shit, things like that out of that kind of column of swears. Because I don't know. I think that it's kind of like an old world politeness thing that doesn't really necessarily apply anymore.
Yeah, you see that a bit with definitely the business world. The business world tends to stray away from swears or anything to that effect. To give an example, there was a post on Reddit the other day in the programming subreddit, and some person was saying they were going through some applications, and they noticed that in some of the commits, essentially people pushing code to their public repository, that there was like swears in it, like fuck, shit. And they're like, it kind of shows bad on, say, the people putting it, and it kind of makes you not look as professional. And I kind of agree with that, right? Because I do agree with the fact. Now, whether they should be judging that on someone's personal repository, maybe not. I mean, they did put it on their resume, but there is this idea that when you get into the business world, or say like on the street sort of thing, that kind of throwing out, say, swears, definitely throwing out, let's just call them slurs, because let's say racial slurs and stuff like that, that's a different level. Definitely throwing that out would be terrible, but throwing out swears is maybe not the best, because I don't I love swearing, but I don't think I'd start swearing in public unless it was like a certain context. But in a professional context, like almost no one ever does it, or if they do, it's where they know it's acceptable.
Yeah. Well, I think that with business, which I would like to kind of separate professional from business, because you could be a professional comedian and like they're gonna swear all the time, but like business, I think is a different level. And I think in business settings, you try and strip as much of the emotion out of it as possible. Like, oh, it's just business, man. It's kind of like being like, there's no emotion here. And I think that with swears, like there's emotion baked into those words. So when you're swearing in a business setting, you're putting emotions and aggression into the situation that is innately supposed to not have that. And honestly, I think that's where a lot of swearing in business settings, because it feels inappropriate, is because there's the understanding that this is not about emotion, and then you're adding on something emotionally charged.
Yeah, that really makes a lot of sense, and it does bring up a connection there between, say, swearing and emotion too, because I think they've done a couple studies on that. Like they did one study where they had people put their hand in like super chilled water, and one group just couldn't say anything, and then they would rate their perception of pain after. And there's another group that was allowed to like say anything, and then there's another group I think that could swear. Probably not getting the exact experimental setup, but essentially, end of the day, the people who could swear had a lower experience of pain than the ones who couldn't, and that gives some credence that swearing is maybe like an emotional outburst in some sort, emotional release. And I definitely feel like that. Like, I don't know, when I'm pissed off, like I just start swearing up a storm. And I think I'm not going to say I feel better, because, you never feel good when you're in that state, but I do feel like it lets off some steam. It's kind of like the valve out of there. And kind of like you were saying, like if you're in a business context, like there's that phrase, like it's just business, right? Like it's a business decision. It's no emotion in there, right? Because that's kind of the ideal with business.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that kind of makes sense to me.
The exact thing I just said.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I love the agreement. And I did read that too. I've read that several times. But people say that all the time about swearing. They say like that it releases endorphins. They say smart people swear a lot. Studies show smart people swear a lot. But then there's the old adage. I know my grandfather used to say, if you have to swear, it means you don't have a big enough vocabulary, which I don't really agree with. But, fuck is the most versatile word in the English language. It can be used in almost any form. Like, it's insane how versatile that word is.
Hey, are there studies showing that smarter people do that? Because I've heard the opposite.
I've seen it.
Okay.
I don't know if it's true, but
I mean, I think it's probably just like a natural human thing. But I think maybe there's a misperception there, because people who are in professional contexts, like academic professors and stuff, they tend not to swear just because the context they're in. But I assume that a lot of them outside of that context, they're cussing up a storm.
I mean, I don't know. I think academic professors, like when you're in college level professors, they swear all the time.
Do they?
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of. I mean, Palmer. That's all he did. He swore all the time.
I don't know, but I've also only known college professors for like a year. There's a couple people online who I follow who are PhDs, and they tend to swear quite a lot. But it also is a bit more of an aggressive, like exercise science sort of territory too.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I think aggression also is a big part of it, because it's often not just emotion in general, but I feel like it leans more towards aggression when you're swearing, because I'd be much more likely to swear if I was angry than if I was sad. I mean, I'd probably swear in all contexts, but more likely, like I feel like it comes more naturally, and it feels better in an angry sense.
I tend to solve some of my issues with programming with swearing. Like, I don't know why it works, but it works pretty well. Like, if I'm having an issue, just banging my head, this is how I do it. I'm just like, all right, so I like fucking ping this thing right here. It doesn't respond. I don't know why. So let's go here. Oh, hey, fuck you right there. Okay, hey, this fucking works right there. Oh, what the shit? Oh, wait, what is this? Oh, okay, I misspelled that. Well, fucking God. And eventually I get it solved out, but kind of swearing as I go through it, it helps.
The classic programmer's rubber fuck. The subset of people who are going to understand that is very small.
That's my clap right there.
That is my best swear joke to date and my best programming joke to date.
But yeah, for me, it helps gets through like certain thinking issues and stuff. And I think you're right as well. Like the fuck just forms any sort of thing, but somehow when I use it, it always makes sense in this context. Like it's kind of like you can use the word it and you use it too many times in a sentence, it gets confusing what it refers to. Fuck doesn't have that issue. Fuck is always clear what it's referring to.
So type into Google most versatile word in the English language, and it says fuck is the most versatile word in the English language. It can be used as a verb, adverb, noun, adjective, modifier, intensifier, or even an interjection.
I definitely believe it.
So that's super fascinating that, Google says fuck.
Now, whoever's listening to this episode right now, I hope you're not listening to this like at work with, volume cranked up, because you're probably going to be kicked out.
I hope you are, because then you have a really fucking cool job.
Oof, yeah. I think that would be balls to the wall crazy.
That'd be fucking nuts, dude.
There are certain professions, though, where swearing is not really seen as bad or looked down upon. Like, a lot of military stuff. Like, I've just heard military people swear quite a lot. It's like every other word. And another instance of that would be kind of construction work. A lot of them swear. It's just natural. And they're dealing with a lot of frustration stuff sometimes, too. So it kind of makes sense. And more kind of out in the open as opposed to like business meetings, So I think it definitely depends on the context. Now, you yourself, Meter, how often do you swear in everyday life?
All time. All the times. Not when I'm on the phone at work, unless the customer swears first. Like if they say that their roof's all fucked up, I'll usually laugh and then be like, well, let's see if we can unfuck it for you. Let them set the tone.
Have you ever gotten a bad reaction to that?
No.
I guess if they're coming at it that way, like the fucked up is kind of disarming a little bit, and then you're kind of disarming them even more. Like you're kind of like relating to them a bit. Where
it can't always work. You have to be able to read the room, and sometimes they're not coming at it in a way where they want a swear back. It's risky, but if done right, it builds like a personal rapport that is really, really important in the early parts of building a relationship with a customer.
Right. When did you start swearing?
Instantly.
Okay.
They did an ultrasound and I was like middle finger straight up. That was the beginning of it all.
Nice.
When my mom took a pregnancy test, it had 2 lines in the middle finger.
Now, is the middle finger actually swearing? I'm never clear on that.
I mean, yeah, it's an obscene gesture.
I would say I started swearing in 6th grade. I think is when I did it.
Yeah.
And I started doing it because I made friends with this guy, George.
Okay.
And George was swearing a lot. And then I started thinking, like, hey, I need to sound cool and adult, so I'm going to start swearing. So suddenly I just start swearing up a storm. And then...
and your grandmother killed you.
She never found out, thankfully.
Oh, you were smart about it.
But I got to the point where I just kind of realized that all the kids around me were swearing, and they were all just trying to sound super adult, essentially what I was trying to do. Like, hey, I'm grown up. And I just thought it was just really kind of dumb and cheesy. You know, never applied that to myself. I just kind of looked down at other people, essentially. But
yeah, that sounds right.
That's when I stopped. And I didn't start swearing again until like I was like 23 or something like that. Like I had like a no swearing rule.
I remember. All through high school, because I swore all the time, and you never did.
What did you think of that?
Yo, you do your thing, bro.
True. Yeah. And
I thought you were a good Christian boy, and Jesus would be mad if you fucked with your voice or your other parts.
Well, I failed on those two fronts.
Fair.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think it had to do with like anything with Christianity really, because I thought about it even then. It's like, why is this swear even bad? And I just associated being bad because I thought the people that did it were trying to like prove something about the maturity levels, and I just thought that was dumb, and I never like really validated that. I just and then I think I just kind of got stuck in like, oh, I don't swear. That's something about me. Okay, no, even worse though. I had this whole thing. This is the stupidest thing
I'm ready.
I've ever put. So I had this thing where not swearing is what I did. That way, if someone ever said something about me, like they ever lied about me and said, oh yeah, Nathan said, fuck you, or said some story about me where I'm swearing the story, I can just be like, hey, that's patently false. I don't swear. Bring witnesses. And they say, yeah, Nathan doesn't swear. And then boom, like I am an angel. Like I am acquitted of all charges.
That's brilliant. But no, he doesn't swear, so he didn't murder anybody.
Listen, there's no possible way. You know, you said the murderer said fuck you. He doesn't swear. That's not the case.
Yeah, but I did swear, so you're guilty by association.
Old wounds. Old
wounds and floor chicken nuggets.
Ooh, and the red sauce of defeat.
Tomatoes?
I mean, yeah, tomatoes with some like sugar and I don't know. Whatever they put in ketchup.
Yeah, vinegar.
Is there vinegar in
Salt.
ketchup?
I think so, yeah.
That's badass.
So, what's your favorite swear?
I think my favorite swear would be probably fuck. Fuck is a good one. What the fuck? I don't know. I think it's just like so versatile and everything. That's what I'd say. I'm trying to think of some other ones, and I definitely can.
Why'd you say that like you definitely can't?
We're not going to talk about that.
I've tried to think of some others. I definitely know all the swears. Probably hundreds more, but I just won't say them right now.
There's one I got convinced was amazing from Louis C.K., which is this one might get controversial depending on. I think it's less controversial now, but cunt. That one I like. Not that I would ever really like call anybody that. Like I really don't call people any bad names. But that one I just like because it's just like a beautiful word. Like it's got like this boxy kind of like character to it, and it's got like such a punch to it. Like that's one I wish didn't have a lot of stigma around it because I just think it's a nice word. And I think it has less stigma now than it used to, if we're being real.
Probably.
But those are my two favorites, I would say. Shit's also a fun one. What would you say is your favorite?
Yeah, I mean, fuck.
Fuck?
Yeah, it's just you can use it all the time.
Yeah, fuck is pretty good.
It's just like the perfect word. You can use it in anywhere in a sentence. Fucking anywhere, man.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
My girlfriend, she is Canadian, so of course she doesn't really swear.
That's not a thing.
I know. I'm trying to be provocative.
Oh, okay.
But she doesn't really swear for the most part. But what she told me is she will swear under her breath a decent bit at work. But never like in public. But then once she started dating me, it kind of changed. She doesn't really swear much at all. But if she ever has like a really bad day at work, it's kind of funny. She'll come home like, are you fucking serious? Like these fucking people, I can't believe this fucking shit. It's really like fun to watch.
So super out of context, or out of the context of her normal vocabulary.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like me when I get kind of that way too, because I just start putting every swear in there. Like I think I've only had like one blow up at work, and it was I went outside with my assistant manager, or the assistant manager was under me, so I was her manager. But I just had to let some steam because I took over the store, and the people were just like shit workers because they weren't trained. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. What the fuck is up with them, this fucking shit? Like, and my assistant manager's just like, she was just like seemed intrigued, but also horrified, but also just like, I just want to keep watching. This is so like weird.
A beautiful train wreck.
It's a beautiful train wreck. That's me.
No, swearing's not bad.
Yeah, I would say it's not bad really. I think I think the point we made here though is swearing, or what we think to be swears nowadays, really aren't swears, and maybe like more like the slurs are kind of more the swears now.
Which is super interesting because like when we were growing up in the 90s, early thousands, like there were words that we would use then, and we would use them in different contexts, and they weren't really considered, swears. They were just like kind of offhanded, and maybe they were kind of swears, but they were like low-level swears. And that's kind of flipped now, where those are like were offensive, but nobody gave a shit. And things that weren't offensive, like shit and fuck, people cared if you said, and now they've kind of like swapped sides. Like, the R word or the F word, that for like actually derogatory things. You don't say those anymore, but like you can say fucking shit all the time, and like people aren't gonna bat an eye.
Yeah.
I think it's like a good cultural change in that way.
Yeah, I guess the big thing with that is that those words, kind of like we were saying, they're not context sensitive. Like it doesn't actually describe anything particular, or the stuff it kind of describes is kind of, a bit less controversial, you could say. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. People argue that fuck isn't a good swear because fuck describes like sex, and sex isn't bad or something like that. But I don't know. Like, fuck is just so generalized that it doesn't really mean sex. I guess another word is dick. Like you're being a dick. That's seen as bad, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't know. I don't think it's saying that men are bad or penises are bad or anything to that effect. I think it's just saying like, hey, dude, you're a dick. Now, there's something about sexuality. It's kind of visceral in that kind of way. But maybe I'm behind the times in this one.
Yeah, I don't know. I think dick could come around to be not a great thing to use in the future. Like if you call someone a vagina, you're probably saying like something negative about them, and then that has like negative connotations to vaginas. I don't feel like that one's culturally okay, but calling somebody a dick is. I don't know if that'll ever swap. If the because yeah.
I think where the difference is, at least as far as my mind goes, is like dick is like gender amorphous. Like when you call someone a dick, it doesn't matter if they're man, woman, baby, or whatever. Like that meaning still applies, equally, and it is an insult. But words can be insult and still be okay. Like sometimes it's okay to insult people or kind of poke fun and mess around. And dick can be like a big insult, or it could just be a little jab, and or maybe you are being a dick, right? Maybe I'm kind of going off on somebody like, hey, dude, stop being a dick. And to me, that makes sense as an insult, but I don't think it refers to anything of sex and gender, which makes it more okay. If you said something like, you're such a vagina, or you're a pussy, like. There could be some implications to do with gender there or sex, and that could be come across as sexist. So I think that's where some of the weird nuance of it gets in. But kind of like you're saying, words change over time, and how words are used changes a lot too. Like there's a lot of examples of words that were once swears that aren't anymore, and words that weren't swears before but now are. Yeah, what we're trying to say, and so. I don't know. It's hard to put your foot down on anything because things change.
Hey, Nate, you calling babies dicks?
They're complete dicks. I mean, you ever like hear them just like start crying for no fucking reason? Like, it's really annoying.
Nate, we need to talk.
I think so. I don't know.